And once again, this is the 180 difference between Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre goes out and talks to people, actually takes photo shoots with them, has conversations with them, goes out of his way to talk with them. Mark Carney, on the other hand, is defending someone who is so easily swayed to throw a Canadian away. Hello, and welcome to today, where I'm going to be talking about Pierre Poilievre and his rallies that he's been going on. But first and foremost, before we get into that, I'm going to take a note of one thing, which is that it is April 4th that I'm recording this. And if you can tell by the background, it is a little bit late in the day, so probably gonna be uploaded tomorrow. But I'm making note of the date because I realized that a lot of videos lately have been quite late because I've been busy with this, that, and the third. And second thing I'm gonna make note of before we get into this very happy news within my Canadian spirit. Before we get into that, guess what? I did some cleaning, and now that dresser, which once upon a time was less clean, is now clean, and I've put a little bit of my personality on that. It got a pickaxe. I think I'm pointing in the right spot. Pickaxe, camera, dice thing, and then a tractor. You can't see it right now because once again it is late, but I just thought it was nice to put a little bit of myself in these videos. Now I might halfway through the video put this thing back up because it is dark and I want to have it look somewhat proper for you guys. But anywho, let us dive into this first video from the Post-Millennial, where they say Pierre Poilievre's Canada First rally in Oshawa kicks off with "Oh Canada." An estimated 6,500 people are in attendance. And I will say, I have listened to this video, and it makes my heart beat with pride for being Canadian, because they sing the proper song. Okay, admittedly, I had to mute my mic because although I wanted to sing along to the song, I thought it would be more proper to just let them sing it, so I muted myself as to not cause a disturbance in audio quality. But this video, seeing the Canadian flag, seeing the song being sang properly, as it should be, as it is to define what it means to be a Canadian, the anthem, it defines what it is to be a Canadian, to sing it properly without the liberal agenda being skewed in between the song. Perfection, utter perfection, and it makes me proud to be a Canadian. Now, there are more things to this rally, but I thought it was more important to look actually to the end of the rally, where it is noted by Right Blend, what a legend. The next Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Poilievre, took the time to talk to supporters before boarding his bus after the rally. This is what real leadership looks like. And this video points out something that is very crucial about Pierre's character. Now, I didn't note this in the Oh Canada song because I thought it would be a little bit of a faux pas to make note of it there, but I'll make note of it now because we're actually past the anthem portion. I got my aging beaver. Let us dive into this video.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here, guys. So much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it means the world to have you guys. Way to go. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Where are you from anyway? Montreal. You're from Montreal? Yes, I am.
No way! I'm from Montreal too.
Ben oui.
Oui, ça va bien. Merci. Tu viens du même quartier?
Je suis montréalais. Je suis comme toi.
Ok, de quelle partie de Montréal?
Rive-Nord.
You might have a photo of me.
Right. Thank you. Thanks for being part of it. You get some good numbers today?
Amazing numbers. Yeah, people love these like pre-rally streams. They're loving it. So
Great turnout today.
yes.
Incredible.
See you tomorrow night.
Thanks,
Would we
guys.
be able to get a photo
Yeah,
with you real
fire it
quick?
out.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Awesome.
Would any of you guys be able to take a picture of us real quick?
Sure. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Do one big group photo on this phone here. So much. Am I allowed to?
Yeah,
Very quickly, guys. For sure. 3. Let him get ready.
Okay, guys.
Look at this. Taking. Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
I just wanna... I'm not gonna go through the entire video. The video will be in the description. You can go look at it if you really want to. And I actually recommend looking at it because it is very fun to watch. Just fun to watch. And look at Pierre's character. He actually is a real human being. He is not someone who is high up on the echelon and treats regular Canadians like they're peons who he can't mingle with or talk to or take photographs with. And one of the really cool things is towards the later end of this video, when he was just about to board his bus, all of a sudden people at the door were calling for his name, and he got off of the bus and went to go and talk to them. He actually has a personality. He's personable with Canadians. He is actually somebody who goes out to talk to us and to just enjoy a good time with Canadians rather than constantly talking down or constantly seeming too high up to everyone to understand or something of that sort. He has a common personality. He's somebody who we can get. Somebody who we can take photographs with. It is a complete 180 from typical political drama in Canada, or just political drama, point blank period, but he seems normal. He seems common. I use that word intentionally because, you know, he's been running on the thing of common sense, and yet here he is at his own rally looking like a regular person, a common person. Granted, he is not actually a common person, but he is willing to be with people who are of the common. It's great for both political sake because he understands what people are actually wanting for the government and all of that, but it is also good because it just looks good in general, whereas Mark Carney kind of does the complete opposite, where he just seems completely and utterly posh or a prick. It is a complete 180 of character between the Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre. Complete 180 in character. But to take a bit of a leaping point from the good news, there's a little bit more good news. But then we're gonna get into the more not so great portion of what I'm gonna be talking about today. It's not terrible. I mean, if you look at it in terms of election, which I'm going to take this time to note that when it comes to the election, take your hiney and get to the ballot box and vote. You need to vote. Even if you think the polls are skewed, even if you think that conservatives are just going to win, take your tush to the ballot, because if you don't, and other people also don't, then it'll mean a whole bunch of nothing. So once again, just because the polls, you might think they're skewed or not real or yada yada, doesn't matter. Take yourself to the ballot and put that in. But to talk about this, he's getting endorsed by a police association. From Pierre Poilievre, he says, "I'm proud to have this endorsement from the heroes at the Peel Regional Police Association who keep our communities safe. A new Conservative government will repeal catch and release liberal policies, put our heroes in uniforms first, and restore safe streets for a change." And once again, talking about polls, everything is lopsided. And even so, once again, even so, get to the ballot box when it comes down to voting. Because even though we have unions backing Pierre, a conservative, even though we have Bloc Québécois, once again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, even though we have them stating that the Liberal Party is more frightening than Trump, it is all talk unless conservatives come out and prove that Pierre is gonna win this. So I'm urging you once again, change the future of Canada and be a part of it by voting for that change. Because I know that I most certainly will be, even with my, frankly, pretty busy schedule I've got going on here. I will still be doing it, because I want to make sure that I'm doing my part in this, and so I can't say later on that I didn't try. Be part of the change. Vote Conservative. And if you ever so wanted a real meaningful reason as to why you should go out and vote, I don't know one Canadian who is saying, I don't want to own a home when I grow up. I don't know one. Maybe there's some people who will like the tent lifestyle. That's not me, and that's not most people. But Pierre Poilievre points out something that is very poignant within the Liberal Party. And let's just take a quick look at this video.
The federal government is not only back in housing, but we're here to stay for the long term.
That was Justin Trudeau when he was running. He was saying that statement, and where did it get us? Absolutely down the drain of how much a house costs nowadays. Now let's listen to Mark Carney and what he is saying.
We're getting government back in the business of building affordable homes.
Same exact message. And it's kind of funny because they're part of the exact same political team. They're part of the same political team because Mark Carney was there underneath Trudeau when Trudeau was in. And now Mark Carney is in. They have the same ideas, same running, same end goal. Vote for Pierre Poilievre so that we have a chance of housing not continuing to go up in price, but actually go down so that people can afford a home. And not only that, but throughout Canada, we can lower the poverty rate that is happening here. Now, just before I head off, because I don't have much more to say here, I'm going to watch a video here from government.exe is corrupt, because I think this video is a little bit interesting. I'm not going to watch the whole entire thing. He says, Mark Carney says Paul Chiang, I think I pronounced that right, a Liberal MP who wanted to deliver Canadian Joe Tay to the Chinese embassy for a bounty, will remain an MP. Now let us Listen to this.
It's not just opposition parties calling for Mr. Chiang's resignation, it's also at least 13 civil society groups. What message are you sending to Canadians who are worried about pressure from China when you allow him to stay on?
Look, I am deeply offended by those comments. As I said, they're a terrible lapse of judgment.
A terrible lapse of judgment. The comments or the terrible lapse in judgment of trying to hand over a Canadian for a bounty? Which is the terrible act of judgment that he is talking about? Also, before we continue, I just really love the liberal dramatics. I am deeply offended. I don't care. I don't care that you're deeply offended that people find you problematic for your silly opinion. I don't care if you have a silly opinion, a terrible opinion at that. You have a terrible opinion, and you deserve ridicule at that rate for keeping someone like that in, who is so willing to hand over Canadians to an adversary. So willing to do so. Does being Canadian mean absolutely nothing to Mark Carney? Yeah, it does. But he says it so poignantly here by saying, I'm offended that you would judge me for keeping someone who'd so easily throw Canadians away. He doesn't care about Canadians. And once again, this is the 180 difference between Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre goes out and talks to people, actually takes photo shoots with them, has conversations with them, goes out of his way to talk with them. Mark Carney, on the other hand, is defending someone who is so easily swayed to throw a Canadian away. And there's people who are still voting for him. Insane.
I view this as a teachable moment. It underscores the respect with which we treat human rights.
Treat human rights? Treat human rights. Talking about treating human rights while also talking about the person who tried to throw a Canadian away. Human rights. I'm sorry. Did you... What do you think the Chinese embassy is going to do with that Canadian? What do you think they're going to do with him? They have a bounty on his name. Let's say that we did hand over Joe Tay to the Chinese. Do you think he was going to come back to Canada? Really smart. Really smart. It's clear as to why he was the Bank of England person and utterly drained their account. Talking about human rights, but then you're also talking about a dude who actively wanted to send a Canadian to their... Like, how can you be talking about human rights? How can you say this is a teachable moment? The teachable moment is kick him out. That's the teachable moment. Get him out. But no, Mark Carney wouldn't want to do that because that would mean he'd actually have to care about Canadians and our feelings and our ideas and, human rights. But anywho.
This, after all, though, I will go back to the character of the individual who made a lapse judgment. This is someone who has served our community, has been on the front line of policing for almost 3 decades, and has been standing up for those rights and has that track record for it.
And then decided to try and throw away a Canadian because he had a bounty on his name from a different country, an adversary at that. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about this achievement, that achievement, this achievement, that achievement. If he's actively trying to send Canadians to their... I don't care. I don't care. Send them away. Not Joe Tay, but the person who is currently a Liberal MP. Send them away. Send them to Dr. Phil's ranch. Send him there. He needs his brain recalculated. Anywho, there's over 10 seconds left. I'm not gonna watch it all. I don't care to, but the point is, get out there and vote for Pierre Poilievre. Vote for change. Vote for good character. Vote for someone who wouldn't so easily throw Canadians overboard. Vote for someone who has common sense and understands what it means to be a Canadian. Someone who is personable, somebody who understands being Canadian. Vote for him. And so that is all I really had to say on this thing. So, just gonna close this off by saying, once again, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And so I encourage you, I ask, and I would greatly appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and joined the crew on the way to 1,000. I'd be very appreciative of that. And tell me what you're thinking down below. Tell me, I don't know, how your day was. I don't know, say something down below. Let me know you're alive, okay? But, yeah. Anywho, I hope to see you in the next video, but until then, I hope that you have a good one.